Have you ever felt buried under the noise of the world? Opinions flying at you from every direction, expectations piling up, the unspoken pressure to constantly keep up. It's exhausting. But here's a fascinating thought. Over 2,000 years ago, Stoic philosophers wrestled with these very same emotions. They too grappled with questions of identity, purpose, and inner peace. And somehow, their ancient wisdom feels more relevant now than ever. So today, let's take a deep breath and slow things down. We're diving into the Stoic mindset, timeless tools for living with resilience, purpose, and calm in a chaotic world. Whether you're overwhelmed by stress, looking for deeper meaning, or just curious about how to feel more grounded, you're in the right place. This isn't just philosophy for the bookshelf, it's a way of life. And every part of this journey is designed with you in mind. So let's get into it. Let's get into 1. Care less about what people think. Let's be honest. We've all gotten caught in the trap of caring too much about what others think. It might be subtle, second-guessing a decision because of someone's judgmental glance, or altering your voice just to fit in. We bend, we mold, and we lose little pieces of ourselves chasing approval that never really satisfies. The Stoics saw through this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, called out the futility of seeking validation from others. He believed that true freedom begins when we stop living for the opinions of others and start living in alignment with our own values. Think about it. At the end of the day, when it's just you and your thoughts, who are you really trying to impress? The more we anchor ourselves in what we genuinely believe and value, the less power others' opinions have over us. That's not arrogance, it's clarity. And the amazing thing? When you show up as your authentic self, you start attracting the right people, those who respect the real you, not the performance. Quality always trumps quantity, and peace always trumps popularity. So how do we get there? Start small. Define your values. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? Then act in alignment with those values, consistently. That's where the real transformation begins. 2. Be radically honest, especially with yourself. When we talk about honesty, most of us think of telling the truth to others. But Stoicism takes it further. It's about inner honesty too. Epictetus, another Stoic giant, taught that living with integrity means aligning your actions with your beliefs. Not for show, not for praise, just because it's right. When we live dishonestly, whether by lying to others or lying to ourselves, we carry that weight. We complicate life. Deceit takes energy, honesty gives it back. Being honest clears mental clutter. It helps us make decisions faster, and it frees us from the fear of being found out. But here's the deeper layer. Honesty nurtures self-awareness. When you're honest about your flaws, your desires, and your past mistakes, you grow. You stop running, you start evolving. Of course, it's not always easy. It takes courage to admit you were wrong. It takes humility to own your mess. But it's worth it. And like anything, honesty is a practice. Start by checking in with yourself at the end of the day. Were you fully honest today? Where did you hide or perform? What can you do differently tomorrow? Every time you choose honesty, especially when it's hard, you strengthen your inner foundation. And that's what Stoicism is really about. 3. Don't take things personally. We've all felt that sting. Someone says something sharp or does something that just hits a nerve. It's easy to react, to internalize, to assume it must be about us. But here's where Stoicism offers one of its most powerful mindset shifts. it's usually not about you at all. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, reminds us that people act based on their own struggles, their own worldview, and their own pain. It's like everyone is walking around wearing a unique pair of glasses that color how they see the world and you. And those lenses are shaped by past experiences, insecurities, beliefs, and fears. So when someone lashes out or treats you unfairly, it often says more about them than it does about you. Think about a time when you reacted out of character, maybe snapped at someone or pulled away emotionally. Chances are it had more to do with your internal state than with the other person. Understanding this helps you detach. You stop making everything so personal. You create space, and in that space you find peace. This doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It just means you protect your energy by choosing not to take on what doesn't belong to you. So where do we go from here? Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending life doesn't get messy. It's about seeing clearly, responding wisely, and living deeply. If you can start caring less about external approval, if you can choose honesty over comfort, and if you can stop internalizing other people's issues, you're already on the path. You don't have to change everything overnight. Stoic growth happens step by step. So be patient with yourself, be honest, stay grounded. And if this resonates with you, consider subscribing or diving deeper with us, because there's so much more wisdom ahead. Let's keep walking this path together. If we can learn to recognize our own struggles, imperfections, and missteps, why not extend that same awareness and compassion to others? This simple shift in perspective, something Seneca emphasized, is rooted not only in empathy, but in protecting our own peace. When we stop taking things personally, we free ourselves from unnecessary emotional weight. We realize that not everything people say or do is about us. In letting go of that burden, we reclaim a sense of inner lightness. Suddenly, life becomes more breathable. We're no longer carrying around the invisible weight of imagined offenses. But the real question is, how do we actually make this change? How do we stop taking things so personally, especially when our emotions are already ignited? The answer begins with a pause. In the moment when you feel hurt, offended, or angry, pause, breathe. Remind yourself of Seneca's wisdom. This might not be about me at all. That moment of reflection is powerful. It breaks the chain of reactivity and creates space for choice, a chance to respond thoughtfully instead of emotionally. Cultivating this kind of resilience also means reminding ourselves regularly that we don't have access to the full context of another person's life. We don't know what they're battling. The more we acknowledge that, the less their behavior wounds us. And yes, we'll still get hurt. That's part of being human. But even those moments become opportunities, a chance to practice the Stoic mindset in real time. Ask yourself, what can I take from this? How can it make me better? In choosing this way of thinking, we guard our inner calm and open ourselves to deeper, more empathetic relationships. We become less reactive and more grounded. Paradoxically, this helps us feel even more connected to ourselves and to others. 4. Practice patience. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the virtue of patience, not as a passive act of waiting, but as an active, mindful engagement with the present. For him, patience was a kind of spiritual armor, protecting us against the agitation that life's challenges often bring. It's about endurance, grace, and calm in the face of delay or difficulty. Consider being stuck in traffic. There's not much you can do. You can't move any faster than the cars ahead. But within that immovable situation lies a strange kind of freedom, the the freedom to accept, to turn the moment into something else, time for reflection, music, a podcast, or simply the stillness of your own breath. Acceptance doesn't change the traffic, but it completely transforms your experience of it. What was once a source of frustration can become a moment of peace. The same principle applies to people. When someone tries your patience, imagine what would happen if you chose not to meet their hostility with your own. What if, instead of snapping or withdrawing, you responded with calm curiosity or compassion? That doesn't mean tolerating abuse or excusing poor behavior. It means responding with thoughtfulness, not heat. Often, this composure disarms conflict and leads to better outcomes for everyone involved. True Stoic patience is an embrace of the present, not a resistance to it. The delay, the challenge, the nuisance, these aren't detours, they are the road. Every time you feel impatience rising, recognize it. Then pause. Take a breath. Bring your attention to what's actually happening. Remind yourself that you're not in control of everything, only your own response. That awareness alone can make a huge difference. You can also make patience easier by adjusting your expectations. Many of our frustrations come from reality not matching the picture we had in our heads. But if we let go of the idea that things should go a certain way, we open ourselves to the moment as it is. Life stops being a constant disappointment and becomes an unfolding mystery we can meet with steadiness. Each experience is a chance to practice. Like any muscle, patience grows stronger the more you use it. The benefits are real. Less stress, a quieter mind, and the respect of others who see your poise and consistency. 5. Be an example. Epictetus, born into slavery and later revered as one of the great Stoic teachers, lived what he preached. He didn't just talk about philosophy in the abstract, he embodied it in every moment, and he challenged his students to do the same. This is the heart of Stoicism, not just believing in its principles, but living them. Think about the impact of this kind of example. When you act with kindness, even under pressure, others notice. You might inspire someone else to soften, to reflect, or to respond differently. When you live with integrity, holding firm to your values even when it would be easier to bend, you set a quiet but powerful standard. And when you face hardship with resilience, showing grace under fire, you give others permission to believe they can do the same. But how do we become that example? It starts within. Take time to reflect. What do you truly value? What kind of person do you want to be, especially when things get tough? Once you've identified those core values, align your actions with them deliberately and consistently. It's not about perfection. Everyone slips. We all have moments we're not proud of. But being an example isn't about never messing up. It's about the intention to live with purpose and the humility to learn when we fall short. Own your missteps, learn from them, use them to refine your path, and above all, be consistent. The real power of example comes not from grand gestures, but from the daily, quiet commitment to live in alignment with your beliefs. It's how you carry yourself in everyday interactions. It's how you treat others, how you handle setbacks, how you navigate success. That's the kind of example that lasts. That's the kind of influence that spreads not through force, but through authenticity. It's not just about doing the right thing when it's easy or when you know someone's watching. True integrity shows up when no one's around, when there's no applause, no audience, just you and your values. That quiet consistency is what earns real respect. It's how trust is built and what sets a lasting example for others to follow. Let's take a page from Epictetus, and become living expressions of our values. Whether it's compassion, honesty, perseverance, or any other virtue, bring it to life through what you do, not just what you believe. Every action becomes an opportunity to reflect what matters most to you. Remember, you have the ability to influence and uplift, not by preaching, but by simply being the kind of person who inspires others through your behavior. Be the change you want to see in the world, and just watch how your light becomes a guide for someone else in the dark. 6. Tune out the haters. Negativity is everywhere, on our news feeds, in the comments sections, and sometimes even in daily conversations. The haters are out there, no doubt. No, but here's the truth. They don't get to decide your happiness. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about maintaining inner peace amidst external chaos. He described it as the inner citadel, a calm, fortified place within each of us that cannot be touched by outside drama unless we open the gates. And that's the key. We decide whether to let the negativity in. We can't control what others say, how they judge, or what stories they tell. But we can control how we respond. We can choose silence over reaction, peace over turmoil. We can choose to carry ourselves with grace and dignity, refusing to take on someone else's emotional baggage. Another powerful Stoic approach. Consider the source. People who lash out often carry wounds of their own: hurt, fear, insecurity. Understanding this doesn't mean you excuse bad behavior, but it helps you detach. Their negativity doesn't have to become your weight. Practice mindfulness. When someone throws negativity your way, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself, this moment will pass. You don't have to let it hijack your day, your joy, or your peace of mind. And don't forget the power of your environment. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, with stories and content that energize you, and with spaces that bring you a sense of calm. You are the curator of your own mental landscape, so fill it with light. Tuning out the haters isn't about becoming indifferent or cold. It's about choosing wisely where to place your attention, your energy, and your heart. Protect your inner citadel. That's where your strength lives. 7. Be full of love. At first glance, Stoicism might seem like it's all about logic and restraint, but there's a huge place for love in this philosophy. Seneca wrote that love isn't just a feeling, it's an action. It's something you do, something you give. And the more love you offer, the more you often find it flowing back, sometimes from the most unexpected places. So, what does it mean to be full of love, Stoic style? It means showing up with goodwill, approaching people with empathy and respect. It's about seeing the shared humanity in every face, even those who test your patience or challenge your views. It's about wishing well for others, even if they don't wish well for you. That doesn't mean it's always easy, but it is powerful. Choosing love over resentment or bitterness lifts not only others, but you too. You become lighter, more connected, more at peace. Being full of love also means being generous with forgiveness and understanding. Everyone you meet carries unseen burdens, silent struggles. When you meet those with compassion rather than judgment, you make their load and yours a little easier to bear. And Stoicism reminds us, love isn't just about people. It's about how we relate to life itself. It's about embracing every twist and turn with an open heart, finding beauty in the simple, mundane moments, engaging with the world fully, attentively, joyfully. So how can you cultivate this kind of love? Start small. A kind word to a stranger, a smile, a heartfelt thank you. Tell the people you care about that you appreciate them. Reflect on your actions. Are they rooted in kindness? When you encounter rudeness or anger, respond not with equal fire, but with understanding. That doesn't make you weak. That makes you wise. Love isn't naive, it's courageous. It's a choice to rise above the noise and show up as your highest self again and again. 8. Stop comparing yourself to others. Let's be honest. How many times have you scrolled through social media, seen someone's perfect vacation, flawless selfie, or latest success, and felt like you were falling behind? That's not just a modern issue, it's a deeply human one. But Stoicism offers a solid antidote. Turn your focus inward. You are not here to compete with someone else's timeline. You're here to live your life fully, meaningfully, authentically. When we constantly measure ourselves against others, we overlook our own growth, our own achievements, our own unique path. Instead of comparing, Stoicism invites us to concentrate on what we can control, our choices, our effort, our character. Real fulfillment doesn't come from being better than. It comes from being better than you were yesterday. So next time comparison creeps in, pause. Ask yourself, am I living according to my values? Am I growing in the ways that matter to me? If the answer is yes, even in small steps, you're already succeeding. In a world constantly pushing us to compare and compete, it's easy to lose sight of our own journey. But what if we chose to focus instead on our own growth, our own progress, and our own purpose? The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, offer a radically freeing idea. The only person you should strive to be better than is the person you were yesterday. This simple concept carries incredible power when we allow it to truly sink in. Just think about it. How often do we find ourselves glancing sideways, measuring our worth against someone else's achievements, lifestyle, or success? It becomes a loop that drains our energy and steals our joy. But the Stoics invite us to look forward on our own path, not sideways into someone else's. This shift in perspective is not just philosophical, it's liberating. Imagine the freedom of releasing yourself from the exhausting habit of comparison. No more racing against others. No more inner chatter telling you that you're falling behind. When you embrace the idea that your life is uniquely yours, with its own rhythms, struggles, and moments of triumph, you start walking in alignment with what truly matters. But how do we actually put this wisdom into action in a world that constantly tempts us to compete? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to those subtle moments of comparison. When someone else's post on social media makes you feel less accomplished, or when a colleague's success stirs envy. These moments are not failures, they're signals. Recognize them, and instead of spiraling into self-doubt, gently remind yourself, my journey is my own, and it's enough. Then, make it a habit to honor your own progress. Did you show up today despite feeling overwhelmed? That's growth. Did you take a moment to be kind, to rest, to persevere? That's success. The world may not always celebrate these victories, but you can and should. Take time to reflect on how far you've come. Look back a year, 5 years, a decade. What challenges have you weathered? What lessons have shaped you? There's wisdom in that reflection. The Stoics remind us that real growth isn't about fame, fortune, or status. It's about becoming more patient, more compassionate, more resilient. Ask yourself, Are you more thoughtful than you once were? More in control of your emotions? More at peace? These are the markers of true achievement, and they often go unnoticed in the noise of modern life. 9. Cherish your connections, the Stoic way to love. In the rush of everyday demands, it's easy to overlook what truly matters: the people we share our lives with. While Stoicism is often associated with inner strength and self-mastery, it also deeply honors our relationships. The Stoics understood something profound. Life is fleeting, and the time we have with our loved ones is limited and sacred. They urged us to stay present, to appreciate the here and now, and to treat each moment with those we care about as precious. But in practice, how do we do that when life pulls us in 1,000 directions? It begins with intention. When you're with your loved ones, be with them fully. Put down your phone. Look them in the eye. Listen deeply, not just to their words, but to the meaning behind them. This kind of presence is rare, and it's a gift. Gratitude also plays a vital role. Let the people in your life know they matter, not just on birthdays or special occasions, but in the little, everyday moments. A sincere thank you, a warm smile, a thoughtful message. These simple gestures affirm the bond you share and express love actively. Love, in the Stoic sense, is not just a feeling, it's a practice. It's showing up when someone needs you. It's sharing in their joy and sitting with them in their pain. It's taking time even when you're busy to say, "You matter to me." One of the most important practices you can adopt is carving out time, real, uninterrupted time for those you love. Life will always feel busy. There will always be deadlines, tasks, goals, but relationships require attention. They flourish when nurtured and fade when neglected. The Stoics teach us not to take people for granted. Every conversation could be the last. Every hug, every shared laugh, every quiet evening has the potential to become a cherished memory. Knowing this, we begin to live and love with more intention. Living the Stoic path, daily and deeply. As we wrap up this reflection, remember that Stoicism isn't just a philosophy for ancient times. It's a living guide, a way of being that offers clarity and calm in a chaotic world. To walk the Stoic path is to walk with purpose, to measure success not by comparison to others, but by your own alignment with virtue. It's about cultivating a resilient spirit, a compassionate heart, and a grounded mind. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just begin, one mindful moment at a time. Reflect, be present, let go of what doesn't serve your growth. Celebrate small wins. Hold close the people who matter. Your journey is meaningful. Your growth is real. And your presence, both for yourself and others, is powerful. Thank you for being here with us on Stoic Philosophy Daily. If this message resonated with you, we invite you to continue exploring the wisdom of the Stoics. Until next time, remember, the Stoic life is not a distant ideal. It's a daily choice, a quiet revolution of the soul, grounded in clarity, guided by wisdom, and rooted in love.